Right, so in this video I want to talk about how the UX design profession is getting fucked, is getting dumbed down, and every day we just have more and more incompetent designers. And I'm going to base this video in an article that I wrote under my website, and I'm going to post it here. I'm going to break it down so you don't think that I'm just talking bullshit, because what I'm saying is very, very critical, especially if you are into the design industry, if you are building products, and especially if you love reading all these magazines, UX Design, UX Planet. You know, these are great articles, very theoretical. They show you some nice animations. They show some cool animated GIFs. They tell you how cool you can be if you become a UX designer, and how great, how much money you can make. You know, you can just paint, take your crayons, and build these beautiful interfaces that, you know, eventually are going to go to the trash because no one wants to build them. But you can impress your your product managers, you can impress the CEO of the company by presenting these animated prototypes, and why not? And this is great. This is sort of the Peter Pan syndrome that a lot of designers are experiencing, because they think they are the coolest kid in town and they are just pussies. And I'm going to tell you what. When a UX designer enters a new company, they come with all this, sort of energy. Okay, we have to create personas, and we have to create affinity diagrams, and we have to do all this bullshit. And they start basically sketching, and they come out with these stupid little things, storyboardings and sketches, and they do this. They put a bunch of sticky notes on the wall, and they think they are very cool, and they are designing. They are just bullshitting. If there is something that some of the UX designers are good for, is to talk bullshit. So let me break you these into sections now. So UX designer, you are told you are kind of a god, right? You design products, you do research, you're a graphic designer, you're an animator, you're an interaction, you're all these things all together. And what tools do you use? Probably, let me just take a guess, InVision, this bullshit application. I'm going to tell you why this is bullshit. InVision, or maybe you work with a Sketch, and Sketch is okay. I mean, Sketch application. SketchUp is probably okay. Right. So this is exactly a problem that is happening. You create a beautiful animated design in your Sketch tool with your 2800 plugins that you have added. And then what happens is you pass these designs through, your manager, you pass these designs to the CEO of the company. They buy in, they love it, they think you're very creative, you're great, and at the end of the day, you know nothing but bullshit, okay? Because you are creating all these prototypes that are not made with the real material of the web interface. And just to be honest with you, UX design today in 2019, 2020, when we're going to close a decade of design, we're going to just figure out that this is simply web design, or interface design, or graphic design with a smiley face, with a new name, with a cool name that Apple, the company, gave to one of their designers back in the time. They call the department user experience. So the name became like this new cool thing to say. So when you go into a job search website, let's say Indeed, I'm going to go to indeed.ca, and I'm going to go and search for UX designer, and what you find is a bunch of weird, kind of confusing name. UX designer, okay. UX UI designer, some of them are better paid than other ones. UX graphic design. There is a full identity crisis in this profession. It used to be called web designer, webmaster, a guy who designs web interfaces. Now what happens is they amputated the technical side of the web designer. They turned this new hybrid designer into a guy who makes very fancy crayony designs with you know, basically as a kid in a kindergarten playing with crayons. I'm going to just Google that, kindergarten crayon, and that's all it is. Just that's you basically. If you're a web designer, if you're a UX designer, you know, this is you. This is exactly what you are. This little girl here, this little girl painting little flowers, painting like pretty pictures and unicorns. But let me tell you something. The enemy of design, maybe clear on this, the enemy of design is the lack of limitations. If you know you have to deliver this bullshit in one day, if you know that you are losing $1,000 per minute by not delivering on time, you are going to just tie up your belt and start building real shit. And I always come down to this website, CodePen, which I like it. Why? Because actually you can see the real thing. You can see real interfaces designed with HTML, CSS, with JavaScript, and you actually learn to design with the real material of the web instead of going for these stupid little tools, InVision, Sketch, whatever. And this may sound controversial for you. Maybe you want to stay in your crayon world. You don't want to code. You never want to learn how to do a single line of HTML. But let me tell you, if you want to live in the crayon world, if you want to live in this kind of UX world that you imagine, if you want to be very well versed in all the articles that you read here in Medium and UX for beginners, again, this is for beginners. Once you start really eating some shit in the real industry, you're going to notice that all these crayons and all this like kindergarten play is bullshit. Okay? So instead of that, learn the technicalities. Become a technical designer. That's what you should do. Become a technical designer. Learn the craft of designing. Learn what are all these little things, all these brackets. What is this bullshit here? What is an H1? What is an HR? What is a div? What is grid? CSS grid. What is flexbox? What is JavaScript? How do you write a function? And then you can be in business and actually create value and create assets instead of designing little sketches. So this is it, the dumbing down of UX designers. Sadly, it's a real thing. I'm going to leave the link on the video, and you send me your comments. Maybe you think, I'm just exaggerating. It is not true. Maybe you have a process that works very well for you. Sadly, in the past 20 years that I've been working as a designer, I've seen this problem over and over again. Designers coming into the market, great talent. They are really good, crayoners. They love to just take their their little markers and just do design like this. This is exactly what they are right now. Dumbed down designers. Now the hardcore designer. I'm going to show you a hardcore designer here. Let me just bring you someone that I like. A guy like Sarah Dresner. Someone who knows. Someone who knows. CSS. Someone who knows JavaScript. Someone who understands. How to build these things and how to make cool shit. Okay, so there you go. If you want to become a more talented designer, look up for these people. Don't look up for these stupid blogs of Medium magazine, all these freaking kind of like socialist, left-wingy type of blog is for juniors. Just learn for the experts instead of going to all these junky blogs. You might get some value actually from some of this, but just go, take a look at sites such as, Timpanus, CodeDrops.net. You can actually see how these designs are actually real things, real prototypes, real applications built with code, with CSS, and why not? Now, if you want to stay again in your crayon little world and design cartoons and doodles, good for you. I'm just giving you a recommendation. Learn to code learn JavaScript, learn CSS, learn the hard skills of the craft of UX and design. Think yourself as a comprehensive designer and not just bucket yourself into I am a UXer. I just do crayons. I just do high level designs. It is bullshit. Get your hands dirty and work your way with real materials, with the real technologies. I hope you like this video. Send me your comments. I will post the article again and take a look. Thank you very much.